in addition to the other 24, 25 people in one operation. We executed at 12 locations. We served 11 search warrants. 11 of the places were convenience stores. One of them was a truck stop. We seized 48 illegal machines, just like the ones you see here today. Now, there are going to be those who say, well, gambling's not that big a deal and everybody can gamble. Let me tell you clearly and unequivocally that not only are these gambling machines illegal, but they're ripping off the people that gamble with them. There's no professional oversight. There's no rules and regulations or state law oversight. There is a percentage, and I'll let our director get into it deeper, there's a percentage of payoff that's mandated by law. Not so with these machines. So while this is all going on, we also determined that 5 illegal aliens were involved. In fact, one of them actually owns a store. That's right, he's here in the country illegally, and he owns one convenience store, and his wife owns another convenience store. So it's important to understand that if this was legal, if they even thought it was legal, explain to me why a large percentage of these folks were hiding them in back rooms, and why they wouldn't allow people to go there unless they were sure or thought they were sure that they weren't law enforcement officers. Well, our detectives, who are the very best, teamed up with Chief Story's detectives, who are the very best, and we went undercover throughout Polk County. And we won at some of these games, and we lost at some of these games. And we determined that this operation certainly violated the law. When we hit our search warrants yesterday, we seized over $100,000 of illegal money in cash. And guess where that $100,000 of money in illegal cash came from? It came from hardworking folks. And we can't prove that children didn't participate because there's no rules, there's no regulation, there's no oversight, there's no monitoring of this operation. It's not fair play. So even if you believe in gambling, there's all kinds of legal ways to gamble. You can sit at home and play penny poker legally with your friends, but you can't engage in illegal gambling where you are ripping off the community. It's not fair play. Now, one of the people that was selling these items was Kenneth Halstead. He's 63, he's from South Carolina. That's right. He sold the machines to 2 of the locations, but not all of the locations. And it's important to understand that these machines are coming in from other areas of the world, and that there are many people that are selling or just delivering these machines. That we'll bring them to you, we'll set it up, we'll do all the maintenance, we'll give you 40% of the proceeds. If you do that, if you allow this machine into your establishment, your private establishment or your public establishment, understand one thing: you're violating the law. Understand another thing: our detectives are going to investigate you. Understand another thing: we're going to run through you like a dose of salts through a widow woman. You're not going to violate the law in this county. Now, there was a sheriff in another county that was taking payoffs for this, and it got him locked up under racketeering laws. It was similar to this. These are just part of what he was involved in. He embarrassed all law enforcement across this state, but he went to jail because right always prevails. Well, this is an example today for him of what he should have been doing. He should have been seizing the gambling devices, not being paid off by a bunch of crooks. He'll get his day in court. So let me turn this over for just a minute, and then we'll take your questions to our Director of Law Enforcement, Carl Harrell, from the Florida Gaming and Control Commission. Director?
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
My name is Carl Harold. I'm the Director of Law Enforcement at the Florida Gaming Control Commission. First, I want to thank the Sheriff and Chief Story for the partnership that we have with them, the fantastic law enforcement professionals that they have working for them, and the fantastic work they've done. We appreciate this opportunity to be a part of this and help eradicate all these illegal slot machines and other gambling devices that are across the state of Florida. Much like what the Sheriff has said, these machines are illegal. If there are only 8 locations that are regulated by the state of Florida where you can actually play slot machines, and those are 4 in Broward County and 4 in Miami-Dade County. If you see devices like these anywhere else except at those 8 locations and on tribal property, you are witnessing something that's illegal. Please do not participate in giving your money away to these individuals because the odds are not in your favor. There are no player protections. You're going to lose, and you're going to devastate your family. We get reports all the time in Tallahassee at our office of people that have had family members who can't seem to stay away from these locations, and it's having such a negative effect on family where they're unable to take care of their children, unable to pay rent, and these devices are nothing more than the greatest harm you could do to your family. So stay away from them. These locations are also a connection with crime, secondary crime. We've had armed robberies. We've had murders across the state taking place at these locations. They're not a good place for you to be if you want to stay safe. And then lastly, if you're a business owner and you're renting to these individuals, you're breaking the law as well, and you need to stop renting property to folks that are running these types of machines. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Thank you, Sheriff.
Chief Story said he would just stand there and support me today, but Chief, it's a safe bet that they're going to jail if they violate the law and illegally gamble. So listen, here's a word to the wise. If you're any place in the state of Florida, and particularly in Polk County, and you're tied up with anybody who's leasing, loaning, giving you this for free money, get rid of it today, because if we get there, it's a safe bet you're going to jail. And it's a safe bet we're going to take the instruments, and it's a safe bet that we're going to take the money. It's against the law. Now, there's always a few village idiots that think we ought to be doing something more important. Well, I can tell you this. When you don't deal with quality of life crime, other crimes follow. And I think the director made that abundantly clear. Robberies, murders, assaults. So this is quality of life crimes here that we're solving. Okay, any questions?
Sheriff, are any of these locations affiliated with one another, or are they all?
Well, for example, there are 2 locations, Maria Pedro de Tiena, Guatemala, and Mario Vegas Garcia, the Tiena, Guatemala in North Lakeland, and Juanita are related. Those 2 are, but the others are independent operators. And quite frankly, what happens is someone like Kenneth comes in and he says, hey, if you'll let me put these machines in your store for free, won't cost you a penny, we'll give you 40% of the proceeds or 35% of the proceeds. And they think, well, heck, it'll bring customers to the store to spend other money. I'm going to make money off of their gambling, whether they know it or not. These gambling machines that are illegal are rigged up So your winning odds are low. Your percentage of return is low. You're being ripped off as a gambler. So even if you like to gamble and you do this, guess what? You lose. You lose. Bad odds, but great odds that we're going to arrest you. And the investigation's still ongoing.
And maybe this is a question for the director, but is it mainly convenience stores where you guys have found these types of illegal gambling machines?
No, we see this type of activity all over the place. It could be in convenience stores, it could be in bars or taverns. We're seeing them there. We're seeing full-fledged illegal casinos in many parts of the state where there's no other business other than illegal gambling going on, and those locations are typically in strip malls or other types of locations, and those folks may have up to 200 or 300 machines in there operating. So it's a problem that has found its way in every facet of the state of Florida, and it's just wherever there's an opportunity, these folks try and leverage that.
How do you stop it?
Well, the solution is a multifaceted type of solution in that, like these folks with the convenience stores, we're working with alcoholic beverage and tobacco at the state level to put their license under threat, or at least reevaluate it, because you can't serve up illegal products and at the same time expect the state of Florida to allow you to sell regulated products. We are looking at ways to inform the folks that actually own the properties and are doing the renting and leasing and those things like that, and try to inform them, but also they have a responsibility as well to stop renting to these locations and help on that side of it. There are distributors all across the state. Some are from outside the state that are bringing these machines. These machines are not made local. They are arriving from overseas. They're arriving from other states illegally. So the complexion of this problem is quite broad, and we're trying very diligently to try and approach it in every way.
Last question. So are any of their licenses going to be revoked, or
Which licenses?
the liquor licenses at any of these locations?
So I couldn't speak to that. I do know that we have a relationship with alcoholic beverage, and they recently sent an email to all of their licensed individuals about 3 or 4 weeks ago, saying that if they had illegal slot machines within their businesses, that they could be subject to having their license reevaluated and determine if they could keep it or not. So kind of in a roundabout way, to answer your question, we will pass these names on to alcoholic beverage and tobacco and let them take the steps that they deem necessary.
Was Halstead here, Sheriff, or was he in South Carolina, and what's his criminal background?
Halstead actually showed up at one of our locations, and that he sold these machines in Tennessee. And so he has worked, that we know, toward this all over the Southeast. And he was dealing with some of these folks, Maria or Mario's family in Tennessee, and they referred him down here to these folks. So he was selling in Tennessee and he was selling here. Here's what's important to remember. Yes, we're going to report every one of them to alcohol, tobacco regulation, and I expect that our alcohol, tobacco regulation department will take aggressive action toward these folks. If they don't, I'll be talking about them, because this is no playing matter. And if you're allowed to get away with crime, you commit crime. And in addition to that, I'm also going to the lottery bosses. They can lose their ability to sell legal lottery. And certainly there's a penalty there. So it's not just that they were running a gambling house. It's not just those criminal charges, but they can lose their ability to sell legal lottery. They can certainly lose their ability to sell alcohol. And I anticipate, and I'm going to work with my colleagues from the state and say, ramp it up, guys, ramp it up. You warned them a month ago. How much attention did they pay? Zero. And you know good and well, they've got to have crunchy peanut butter for brains to do that in Polk County. Because we not just arrest people, we like to arrest people that violate the law. And for those of you who want to make some cash, want a good gamble, a good bet, call Crime Stoppers. When you call Crime Stoppers and put us on to more of this illegal activity, we'll pay you cash. You don't even have to put any money up front. You get to stay totally confidential. So you get cash, and we'll go put more people in jail and take more machines. And then if you like to gamble, take that cash and go over to the Seminole Hard Rock, where it's legal to do this.
What is going to happen with the illegal aliens in this case?
They have a hold placed against them, and when they finish answering to the criminal charges, they'll be deported from the country. There's one from Bangladesh, one from India, 2 from Mexico, and I believe 1 from Guatemala. Okay? Thank you all very much. And remember, it's a safe bet you'll go to jail if you do this in Polk County. Chief and I will guarantee it.
I need this poster. Hey, Keith, can you put the poster on one screen? No, you got it now. Y'all mind if I grab this?
No, sir, we're fine, thank you.